In this video, we're going to have a look at how to create in-cell charts using different types of functions and how this can be used to give us much more control over the different elements of these in-cell charts. So for example, from this table below, we need to create an in-cell chart, but we'd like to conditionally format which of the salespeople is the highest in a certain color, which is the lowest in another color. And if this salesperson is no longer active, for example, like Felix and Kelly, we simply want to leave that blank. Now, this is the type of thing that you would not necessarily be able to do using a regular data bar. So we're going to use functions to recreate an in-cell chart and then attach some conditional formatting to this. So for example, let's build out a bar chart in the following cells that mimics the view of a data bar. And we can do this using the repeat function. And as you can see, it repeats certain text a given number of times. And that text which we are going to provide is going to be put between double quotes, the bar sign, which you can find above the enter key. And we are going to repeat that however many numbers we see here to the left. For example, this person's grand total. Let's divide that by, for example, 200, and let's hit enter. And as you can see, we have started to create this bar chart. However, our factor of 200 can probably be increased. Let's try something like 500. And as you can see, we start to get this visualization of a bar chart. However, we can improve this by applying a different font. I'm going to choose the Playbill font, which will help us to ensure that the bar is very close together and we don't see many gaps. And now we can see our factor of 500, we can maybe decrease it to, let's say, 400. And because we've left this as a relative reference, each time we move down, so it repeats that given character a certain number of times. So in simple terms, that's how we can recreate this in-cell chart using the repeat function. Now we're going to link this to whether the employee is active or inactive. So I'm going to move into this formula and add an if function in the front. And if you're finding it difficult to read the text within our cell, simply move up to your formula bar. I'm going to ask whether cell B9 is equal to the word yes. If so, the value, if true, is that repeat function. However, if it's false, I'm simply going to type double quote for a null text string, meaning that this bar chart will not be drawn out. Let's hit enter and copy this formula all the way down. And as we can see, for Felix and for Kelly, no bar chart is drawn out. And we would not be able to achieve this kind of control with a regular data bar. Lastly, let's go and apply some conditional formatting. We're going to have to create a formula which checks whether this number is equal to the highest number in this entire range. And if that's true, we wanted to conditionally format that particular bar. So I'm going to highlight this formula that I've calculated, move into our bar chart that we've just built, and create a brand new rule using a formula. And I'm going to paste that formula. Let's format the highest value with a green font. And now we have to do the exact same thing, however this time using the min function. I can copy this formula out and now delete it. And let's create a brand new rule using Alt-HLN. And now format with a red font. And as we can see, we actually don't get any red coming through since Felix was the lowest. If, for example, somebody else was the lowest, automatically that data bar would update and the formatting would change. So this is why it's still useful to know techniques such as the repeat function to build in-cell charts. And if you thought you are only able to build bar charts, we can even create dot plots using the repeat function. However, repeating a space a given number of times. And we could concatenate this to, for example, an O character for an open circle, but I'm going to rather add an L, and we're going to change this font to Wingdings, and let's increase this factor. And as you can see, the L within Wingdings is a closed circle. And as you can see, we are able then to achieve a dot plot in-cell chart as well. So in summary, we've used the repeat function, together with referencing that to specific numbers in our spreadsheet, as well as providing some kind of factor to make the chart somewhat smaller. We have then seen how we can use this together with other logical rules to conditionally format or to embed within an if function. And together, these techniques allow for a lot more control than we would have in other in-cell charts like sparklines or within conditional formatting. We'll see you in the next video.